Here we are. We're on. I liked how professional you both know. Right, put your hands in because I've got guests. I've got Gemma from Wales and I've got the landlady of Brighton and Hove actually. Let me check that is right. There's a ton of tea cake for you.
Thank you.
There's one for you.
Thank you,
And
Juliana.
let me check. Put your hands in again. I'm just checking. There we go. Yeah, nice. Wait, you have to guess whose hands are who. Because there's... So we've got a guest today at JigJaw.
Very excited.
And
Very, very excited.
do you reckon? Is it the best thing you've ever done?
Well, yeah, kind of, you know.
You've got to remember to do jigsaw at the same time. You've got to multitask.
To multitask.
You've got to do this. We're doing this one.
Love it.
Do you prefer
Very
this one to
excited.
my other one?
I do. This is more rosary because we're on the spectrum. So
But do you prefer this one or did you like the chaos of the
I
other one?
prefer this one.
Do you?
Yeah.
Why?
Because it's just very neat and pleasing, isn't it?
it is. It's
The other
just
one
kind
was
of like
chaos.
that was Julia really. This is how it should be. This is just calm.
But you
chill.
say that, but actually it's a little bit more confusing than they think. Because also this time of day, which I've got you in, is actually even harder.
I can
because
see
you've got-
shadows.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
It's hard.
We're not guaranteeing we're going to be any help to you. We're just
No,
gonna
but
chat to
the
you.
thing is, what I thought was, now you're in the swing of it with me, you can help me more because
Really?
I started off pretty well in quarantine, and then we've been going to work, and I haven't been able to carry on. I just can't go high. I can't do another season 2 this is.
Yeah.
I can't do another season without finishing it.
No.
No,
Exactly.
not at all.
Right?
I'm worried about the rolling application.
This. Oh, let
Yes,
me show
me
you.
too. Yeah.
Right,
The
you're
blow
right.
up thing. I don't understand that.
Right. So no, this is it. I'm gonna blow it up.
It's PG viewing, Julia.
You can carry on doing jigsaw.
Okay.
Oh.
You can talk about your best bit.
Can I hold your device?
I can't blow it up. It's huge.
It is huge. There you go. You got it now. You got it now.
You're going. You had
Don't
this.
pass it.
You had
Really
this in the
tricky
pool last week.
recording.
Okay.
Keep going.
Yeah?
Keep going.
Okay. Don't pass out.
Oh,
I love that you have to be on your kneeling up to be able to blow it up.
right.
There
What
we
is
go.
this? But what is
Right.
it?
Well,
What do you do with it?
Well, I reckon
What do you do with that?
once
Oh.
we're complete, which will give us 10 minutes, this will be over. And then I reckon you just lay it over and slowly roll.
But it doesn't feel to me that the jewels mat is going to keep it on. It feels like it's going to fall
It doesn't
off.
stick to it, does it?
But
I
look
think,
at that.
look, when it rolls,
Do you reckon?
yeah, look, don't move too fast.
Oh,
Don't move too
don't
fast.
This could
undo
be
my
the
excellent.
end of
See what I
JigJaw.
mean?
Because then you put it in this bag.
So you're going to take it home cold?
No, but that's why I'm hoping to finish it because otherwise I've got to
Okay.
go through
That'll
customs.
roll nicely. And then you can use that when you get home for, whatever you want.
Right. Well, yeah.
Yeah.
Or as it's coming to Christmas by the time we get home,
Yeah.
you can just put it back in the box and wrap it up and give it to somebody.
Hope well because
Signed.
well, I have got a few more viewers, but I think majority of the world, as you're correctly implying, haven't seen this, so they won't know that this is even
Figures
out the box.
are going up. We're up into the 80s now, aren't we?
I think. Well, hang on. I think I might have 90. That is due to Hazem and the casting team because basically,
And Layla.
and Layla, essentially, they took phones off people and subscribed people without
I knew
them
it. I knew, as
realising.
soon as we went international,
I just had right. Okay, so I've had some emails from the classics. I mean, the landlady of Hove and Brighton and Hove actually is here, so there are no questions for you. And Gemma from Wales. She was.
Hiya.
What was brilliant about Gemma was that before she came into the room, I said, right, we're recording at 5:30, right? So get yourself. She said, oh, I'm going to put some makeup on. And then the crashing reality for Gem that actually this is only hands only. And actually, I've got nails done, and she hasn't.
And I
That's the
haven't
first
got
time
nails
ever.
I
done.
haven't had my nails done.
Actually, Gem, why don't you tell everybody about your mum and how she does her nails every
Yeah,
day?
so I have to have my nails done because I am useless at doing it myself. But my mum can do her own nails, which she does every day, while she's drying her hair. So she paints one hand, then she uses that hand to hold the hairdryer while she blow dries her hair, and then she does the other hand.
That is.
I have to sit completely still in order to paint my own nails and not mess it up, and she can multitask and do her hair.
But I
while she's
can't
doing
do mine at all. Because I didn't really use that colour. I have to get someone to do it. But every time I've done my own nails, it looks like I smashed with a hammer.
it. Me too.
But it's everywhere.
But hers
So-
are perfect. She's like known for having perfect nails.
Well,
But she
Jem,
does them while doing her hair.
when this cocking virus goes, what we'll do is we'll bring Jigsaw on tour.
Yes.
We'll come to Cardiff.
Yeah.
Because I can speak Welsh, as you could,
As I know, yeah.
could hear from the last episode.
Yes,
I was
yeah.
I can speak directly to your mum in her native tongue.
And we've
And-
been doing Welsh lessons in work.
We were doing Welsh. Diolch. Diolch, thank you.
Exactly.
Oggy.
Exactly. And we can do one with your mum while she paints her other hand.
Yes.
Or we could watch paint dry. That would be. I don't know how it feels at home,
Did
but
you?
this is thrilling.
This is
ladies.
similar. Well, didn't you? Who said? Who said? Because I've actually got a troll in the room with me.
Who's that?
No, right.
Not from Wales.
Who said this was called Jig Snore?
Not Gemma.
Did you?
Gemma would not say
Yeah,
that.
they said, oh, JigJaw, or we could like to
it's
call
a
it Jig
typo,
Snore.
it's a typo.
Jig Snore.
I've just been talking about snoring, and the computer remembered the word, and it just went horribly wrong.
So I've had an email from the Commodore
The Commodore.
of Carshalton Beaches, and to be fair, these emails came in a few days ago, but because due to heavy workload here in the Middle East, it's been really full on, hasn't it?
It is.
Full.
I have to tell Matt that because I still haven't managed to put the things on eBay that I said the other day. So I'm going to pretend
Because
that
you were doing my family tree.
I was doing your family tree earlier. I got very into that. We'll talk about that. But so I haven't replied to these emails due to heavy workload, but not really due to waiting for work to kick off. So this is to all of us, really. This is from the Commodore. Dearest darling Julia, all the common courtesies. I have a quick question. Following on from your comments in episode 45, I was too. Oh gosh, I can fucking read it.
He speaks well.
I too was surprised that you had a total of approximately 20 likes for your entire JigJaw series. I was surprised that you had indeed received any likes at all.
Harsh.
That's rude, isn't it?
Harsh.
Let alone 20.
Rude.
Rude. How could anyone actually like this? Anyway, in the spirit of ex-President Trump and his current narrative, where voting is condemned as fraudulent and illegal, I have written to YouTube in an effort to have your like votes stopped, recounted and hopefully removed. Thanks, the Commodore.
Tough crowd and
Tough crowd, but
beaches.
Do you not think that is like extreme trolling, bearing in mind he watches every episode?
Yes. And he comments on every episode as well.
He comments on every
He's
episode.
very involved.
It's a bit like Pedro from Farnham, who only listens to be raging if his name is mentioned. so I've got the Commodore who only listens so he can troll me
Yeah.
and write to someone about me, and I've got Pedro from Farnham who only listens to then phone me and say, why did you mention my name? So
Do you think?
It's
do you
not-
think-
Two extremes.
Do you think a gentleman friend from Carshalton? Does he think he actually listens himself? Do you think he pays someone to listen
well, you're
and
right.
come up with bullet points?
Yeah, so he can't do the whole 24
Yeah.
minutes.
Yeah. His memory retention is so lacking.
Well, also, yeah, and he's well, because he can't even dress himself, can he, these days, because he's so grand. He's probably, like, while he's being dressed and his ruff is being, you know, like,
Yeah,
he's got that
yeah.
whole neckerchief thing going on. He's probably just saying, what did she say? Anyway, I'm going to delete that one. Delete. Right, I've had one from Slokes
Okay.
in Australia.
Oh, Australia, we love you.
We love you. Right, so we love him.
We miss those.
We miss Slokes. We love the boys that are here, but we do miss him. So Slokes from Australia, and also we miss his outfits because every year we work with him. Can I just ask, have you either of you done any bits?
Yes.
Not a single
I've
bit
got
yet.
two, possibly 3 pieces in.
And are you convinced that they're correct?
Absolutely.
Oh yeah, because
Absolutely.
it's quite hard.
We can go to playback later.
Yeah,
We can
true.
check. I'm going to initial the backs of the pieces.
We can check. We can check. Anyway, so Slokes is meant to be here, but he's not because quarantining in Australia is pretty rigid, and it's hard to get in or out. Which is ironic, really, because all those years ago, people used to put, you'd send a quid to your relatives
Just to
say,
get them out of town.
To get them out of town, they've either
His quarantine, I thought it was the excess cost of all his bagage and frocks.
You're probably right.
The freight at the moment
His
has
cane.
gone through the roof.
You're correct.
Getting
So,
the diamante capes through, it's just
right.
extraordinary.
God, that's why you're here. Thank God you're here.
Just wanted to mention it.
So he's in, hi Jew. You see, in Australia they don't do politeness, do they? Just go, hi
straight
Jew.
in.
Straight in.
Straight in.
Wham, bam,
There's no
thank you, ma'am.
time. There's no time. Here I was. I'm going to read it in Australian so he can understand.
And we know who it's from.
Exactly. Here I was, feeling forlorn and despondent due to my annual sojourn to the Middle East being thwarted by the plague, when a wee blue dot appeared on my favourite YouTube subscription, made my day. And look, Jew. So he sent me, I'm going to, probably this will die, but I'm going to try and show this picture. So this is the picture of his, oh no, that's the actual, can you see? So that's the picture of his flight case. It's empty. Oh, that's...
Like our
Oh,
hearts.
it's
bad.
like our heart. So that's his normal, that's his costume outfit. That costume outfit? His costume flight case. And then it says, the costume case is empty, ready to load, but nowhere to go. Sad face. I was all ready to bedazzle with this diamond encrusted bling tool. Like, can you see? Oh no. See there? It's a shark's tooth with bling on it. Look. That's his shark's tooth.
yeah.
He's had so much
That's
time.
the freight cost just there.
Take care, and I hope you're released to the wild soon. Give Sherry a big birthday. Oh, it was his birthday. Oh, it was Richard Sherritt's birthday.
What was it?
Oh, I didn't read that bit. Right, we will do, but we miss you very much, and we're going to miss his theremin.
We
actually,
are.
Absolutely.
Yes,
because
absolutely.
it's legendary. What else have I got? I've got one from. Now, do you remember Gareth who bought an aeroplane?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I just done my first piece, can I say? First one.
Result.
In.
Let's
Check.
just see how long into the puzzle that is.
That's very good.
12 minutes, Jem.
12 minutes in.
You see,
Shut me 12.
Claire from
That's good.
Beckenham, she's going to have issues with it. She's now going to start working this out, because if you've done
She is.
one piece in 12 minutes and we've got, how many days left? 20?
About that, yeah.
No, we've really got to work.
We're in
over it.
trouble.
We're going to have to do all-nighters.
Sorry, Gareth and...
Oh, yeah,
what,
sorry.
aeroplane, yeah.
So he bought an aeroplane, but he's emailed. Dearest Jew, slightly more polite than the Australian, but he's East London, isn't he?
East London,
East
trying to come
London.
up in the world.
Yeah. I hope you... I can't do his accent. How do you do his accent? Can't do it. I can't do it. I'll think of one.
Okay.
I hope you're very well and that you've escaped your hotel captivity into the wilds of Abu Dhabi. Do. I'm loving the return of JigJaw. Now, you see, this is a complete contradiction from the Commodore.
Yeah.
I'll read that again. I'm loving the return of JigJaw.
Did he say loving the return?
He said, loving the return of JigJaw. And I may have been watching it during a rather slow rehearsal yesterday. So professional, and it made me smile greatly. Well,
Ah,
that's good.
That's nice.
Just another piece, just got to say, ladies.
you?
Just this
Oh,
corner
see,
piece.
it's quite...
We're
be
picking
interesting
up, we're picking up the speed. We might actually need another one.
I might have done another one.
Well, shall I tell you what's really funny? It's because I did do a lot of this, obviously, when we were in the rooms. I was thinking, oh, blimey, I better slow down, I'm going to finish it. Cut to, literally cut to this. Like, this absolutely... What,
you
how many
have to
pieces?
bring it into work, Jim.
Oh, yes. How many pieces do you think we've done?
Tonight,
You...
I reckon I'd give it a 5.
I've done a piece. 5. Right, well, Jem's done 1.
Yeah.
So, Loftus from Beckenham, can you can you and Daisy work it out? Because we were her homework, weren't we, when they were in lockdown, because of homeschooling. Funny enough, JigJaw started out, she made an algorithm.
Oh, I've done 2.
Well, what I'm going to do in the morning when there's proper light on this,
You're right.
I'm gonna sit, I'm gonna
we are
check.
losing the light and the shades.
yeah, the shadows, yeah, and I could move that enormous light over here, but I can't.
Not whilst we're live, Jew. That could go horribly wrong.
So anyway, carrying on. However, terrible news here, as my personal plane has been grounded, but hopefully it'll be allowed to fly after lockdown too. Because he bought that plane with all his air miles, didn't he?
Yeah.
It's not the first time
I know.
he's been grounded, though.
No. Now, he said, my Facebook just flashed up that exactly 10 years ago we were doing Hair World in Gay Paris. 2 things I will remember about that gig was, well, 1, you were doing Mrs. Overall impressions while setting DJ equipment on the stage. Yes, I was. So Hair World is a fashion show for hair. It's all couture hair, which makes me laugh.
Is it just for the head?
It's just for the head. Well, they have models, which actually, what blew my mind about that was, so the Vidal Sassoon models, at the time, I don't know if it's still true, but because the hairstyling for Vidal Sassoon is so specific, they basically, you are a Vidal Sassoon hair model and they pay you to do it because they can't cut your hair. You know, like one model might go into one hair show and have a haircut crazy like that.
Yeah.
But then with Vidal Sassoon, it's like straight fringes and stuff. So you are paid to have that haircut. And you can't do more. Anyway, so that wasn't the question. Yeah, and I did do Mrs. Overall. So all these beautiful, long, tall, skinny Russians and beautiful models would come out of that, like down the runway, appear. And then as a juxtaposition to that, I would walk out and do a very slow walk, like the stunted bloated. So that was his first meeting of me, actually, I believe.
Oh, first ever meeting?
Yeah, first ever meeting, I believe. I think that was, when was it? 10 years ago, 2010?
2010.
Yeah, first meeting. So I appeared like that. Number 2, the other thing he remembers is you turning to a top hairdresser who was doing live demos on stage amongst the youthful dancers and say something on the lines of, having seen what you just did, you better keep those scissors away from me. I wonder what your memories of the gig were. Well, love from the bow. He's really expensive and he's in bow. He's like nearly bow quarter. I don't know if he's in bow quarter.
I think he is, isn't he?
He's loaded, isn't he?
Loaded.
Right. So my memories of that gig were. Have either of you done a hair show? So
No.
have you done? You could do one now.
I could do one now.
You could do one now.
I'd be paid very happily.
Well,
to have mine cut.
I know you can't see.
With your
I know
flowing
you
locks.
can't see the landlady's hair, but if you remember,
The 70s.
if you remember something, or indeed the pictures of my mum, David Dickinson and Betsy.
I'll go with
I
that.
think.
Absolutely.
I think that you.
Absolutely.
I think what you've done is by watching this, you've been inspired.
I think I have, and strangely enough, the sun has brought out the natural
Yes,
lightness
It has
in the colouring.
got some very natural highlights.
I'm going to
going
check
on.
it. This is still recording because I panicked that it switches off because that's my luck. No, it hasn't. Yes. So my memories of that event were: you've worked with models though and anorexics, haven't you? Well, I'm sitting.
Well, we worked with you for a long time.
Well, the smell of anorexia. Diesel.
Bathrooms.
That's an unusual gig, isn't it? When we were having dinner, like lunch yesterday, I was laughing at where we were because people think it's really glamorous what we do. We were sitting by about 40 Agreco power generators pumping out stuff.
There's a particular mixed odour.
Yeah, with the chemical toilets.
Yeah.
And as grand as they are, and they've got steps and they've got red carpet up, when you get... Actually, having said that, a couple of those ones on their own are
The
pretty
pretty
nice.
Are nice.
Yes,
Yeah.
if you've got this special, you can't say what
No.
colour, in case anyone else is listening in,
Yes.
and goes for the tape of colour,
The
tape of choice,
Yes, which is a
Flawless
really...
system.
Yes, that's
which
true.
allows you into the special bathrooms.
I think they're only okay at the moment because it's only us there.
I think no one's used them.
I think when the cast
Yeah.
when the cast arrive, I think we're going to feel very differently about those.
Maybe, yeah.
But I was laughing. I thought, how come we're sitting? This isn't right. We're sitting in 40 degrees with a box of food, which was actually delicious. That's
Yeah.
James only still done one bit.
I've done
Delish.
3 now.
Oh,
have you?
4
we'll have to
maybe.
play it back.
She went full Paul Talbot then. Then I might have to do subtitles.
You might.
I think YouTube do supply that.
What have I got, Geordie?
What if you go full Darlington?
Darling, that's south. I mean, if you've gone Geordie like pet.
But you're not Geordie.
Yes.
Are you full Geordie?
Why I, man?
Darlington.
Why
I thought you were Darlington.
Lived in Darlington, born in
Newcastle. I
Newcastle.
know that because I've seen your birth records. What am I
You've seen my
thinking?
birth records.
But so, well, go
Why
on,
I,
we do
man?
full Geordie there because I might be able to appeal to a different audience because
That's
obviously
a
they think
higher
I'm
rate. You didn't ask for accents, pet.
Well, maybe because my accent's a bit like the Queen Mother, people probably think I'm related to royalty. I think that's
Probably,
probably.
yeah.
So
Same
why
with
don't-
me. Same with me. They have alluded to royalty by some disparaging remarks some people have said.
So why don't you do a little bit of pat?
Well, you've got to work up to it, pet.
Have you?
You
All
can't
right.
just come straight into
Can
it.
you just? Oh, but you can.
Well, you
Have you poshed up? Oh, hello. Have you? That's funny. That's Anthony.
Aww.
coming in live.
Yeah. What's it? Well, what's he written? Has he written to all of us? Anthony.
I sent him a photograph of the art exhibition we had on the desk last week.
I was just about to say, check you can read it out.
Say that again. You say that again.
I sent him a photograph of the
yes.
art exhibition
Have you got it on your phone?
we had on the desk.
Have you got it on your phone?
Let me check the phone to see.
Because the nice thing is, most of the people we speak to are as childish as us.
Childish, dear.
Well, hang on. I'm just trying to see. Gemma's the only one whose hands are in the shot now. Hold on. Oh, I've just no, I haven't deleted. Oh, for goodness sake! By doing that, I've lost. I've lost the bloody... Anyway, I've got other emails. But we've got a Geordie standing by, but also just for Anthony, who... He lives actually in Leighton Buzzard now.
He does, yeah.
Which is... But I think it had an earthquake. He's Welsh, isn't he?
But in Nathan Buzzard.
There was an earthquake in Leighton Buzzard a few
Was
weeks ago. Yeah. Right, so...
He
said to me that the earth was moving, but I wasn't quite sure.
Let me check. So put that into the camera and show... So put that in and I'll say where it is. Further down, you might have to go up a bit.
That's what they say, sir.
Right, so this was... So basically this, as with professional stage managers working in the Middle East, your fruit ended up on the desk displayed like that.
Well, we didn't have any paint, so I had to use real objects.
So, yeah. And so when I speak to my children and they're just like disappointed in me and us, that sort of
Really?
proof. Oh, you've gone off. Oh, don't you think though? Like when you speak to your children and they go, well, why would you find that funny? And I can't justify
But you asked
it.
me for a fruity picture.
And we immediately thought of Anthony, didn't we?
We did.
Immediately.
Because-
And the big empty space of whiteboard that's just waiting to be filled.
That's waiting.
If Ant
I
was
think
there,
that's next week. We're going to have a small tribute to Ant
Yeah.
in the corner,
I
and
think
maybe
that should
growing
be
across the screen.
I think that should, bearing in mind where we are, possibly we should do that on the last day before we get out.
Not if I sign it Ant's.
If I signed with Anthony that an email address and phone number.
He'll never be able to touch the Pope again. We'll know that.
When I did a talk to years ago to Brit School and I took in like my show book, I gave all the students like the different, like the opening, closing, the Paralympic opening and stuff. I gave them to look at. I hadn't realised that Ben and Anthony had drawn all like throughout. Had drawn.
After your exclusive training, what was the first line? Never assume.
Never
assume that everything will be okay.
But everybody was like, all the kids were laughing and just looking like my kids who like disappointed in me. And I said, what was it? And then I saw that all the way through they'd drawn testicles.
you can't leave anything around those
But
boys.
Were you enlarged on the screen?
Well, no, they were sitting there looking because I was talking and they were looking through the book, through the prompt copies. And all the way through they defaced
Wasn't
them
even
and
on
I'd
the
totally
screen.
forgotten because they'd been up in the loft. Matt had put them all up in the loft.
How shocking as they're going through just fingering the testicles. It's just kind of...
I know. So I think that's when everybody got the gist of me pretty much. And I think everybody thought, oh, maybe she's going to be really high class, and it turned out...
I don't know whether anyone would...
No, I think that...
Oh, sorry, I'm not sure which sentence that was going on the
I
end
think
of.
that was in my mind, that I was hoping. Have you done any more bits?
No,
So-
we've lost the light tube. And
We
so
have, it's quite difficult. isn't
Well,
it goes from purple to black.
you're going to have to come in the mornings when the sun's... Well, actually, I don't get the sun in the morning. But I think yellow is quite hard. Which is because you can see, because I haven't done any of it. I've only done one bit.
It's in a different postcode to me now. I can't really get that far.
No, you can't. We'll have to spin. You're going to have to come and do this daily with me. I have to finish this jigsaw. I can't go back with it. Matt will kill me if I go back with a rolled up, inflated... Where's it gone? If I end up with that rolled... That's huge.
And you haven't even got quarantine to crack on with it now.
No, because the UAE's come out of quarantine. We don't have to quarantine. But also, that's massive to put through hand luggage.
Yeah.
Anyway, I can't go there yet because you're going to help me finish it. I'm just going to finish what I remember of Gav's email. I remember as the models went on, the smell of rice cakes, just dust came off them, rice cakes. And I also remember one girl was so anorexic she couldn't do the other show. So she pulled out. I nearly said, would you like me to go on? Nobody proffered that. And I also remember...
Probably because you didn't ask in French.
Exactly. But there was one, and I know what Gav's referring to. There was one, he's like a couture hairdresser, and he went out like Edward Scissorhands. I had to set a chair in the middle of the stage, and the model sat down. Oh no, first of all the model sat down on it, and then he got her to stand upside down, like put her head upside down. So she stood and she bent over, and he had scissors in both hands, like Edward Scissorhands, and all this really theatrical music was going on, and he cut her hair upside down, like she was upside down, and he cut her hair like that. And then she stood up and she looked like she'd been sectioned. Anyway, so everyone's going, oh, it's amazing. Like, he's really celebrated, this guy. And he cut about, I don't know, 5 models' hair like that. All of them.
Was this at the fashion show or a late night club?
This is not one of your clubs. And but then he came off stage. They came off stage and they looked like nuts. and another hairdresser who's really nice, he's called Shay, Irish. He made he works for a company called I can't remember Sebastian. And they were really, really high again.
Yeah.
High level hairdressers. But all of the hair that year was styled like insects. So all the girls, they wove their hair, so they went over like the eyes of a fly. So the hair was one, but they all came off like brailing their way off because I couldn't see. So I did say to him, actually, I'm not being funny, but if I'd come to your hairdressers in Ireland and you made me, I can't even get my hair, I can't get in the car and drive home. I can't fucking drive home. I've just given you 500 quid. I said I'd stab you with your scissors.
Fair enough.
He did laugh, fortunately. Right, so Scott of Scotland.
Oh,
You know Scott. You know him. You know Jem. Do you know Scott of Scotland?
Aye, Baku.
Baku.
Oh, did all the filming?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
I know Scott,
Right, so that's Scott of Scotland, and funnily enough, it's raining there. And
In
he.
Glasgow.
Ah. They say aha. Do you know that?
Aye. Aye.
Dear Julia, all the common courtesies, because he's polite. Even though he's from Glasgow,
Always.
he's actually really polite. Maybe we've taught him something. Maybe JigJaw has actually showed him the way. First of all, Joe Biden gets elected, maybe, possibly, who really knows. And now this, edge pieces, and then some. So like
It's an exciting week.
yeah, and it was his idea to do edges, to be fair. Because I was just doing colourful parts.
Yeah.
Which I think you've done, Sven, in the past. I think, but yeah, and then he said it's very pleasing.
That's
Good idea, Scott.
good idea, Scott. I'm glad you did that.
But I wonder why. I wonder what he's thinking today because you don't seem to be.
He
helping
wishes he
us.
was here to actually just do it.
I think he does. I think
You'd have
that's.
it done by now.
I think that's bringing out a lot of. Well, that is definitely in the last jigsaw. It brought out wrath, I'd say, rather than enjoyment, because people would be. Had it not been for lockdown, I think I would have been descended on, with people going, "Get out, leave it to me." So what's he written? Okay, have you ever worked on an election or an election count? Maybe it's not showbiz enough for you. I did almost last year, 8 p.m. to 8 a.m. shift, or longer if it kept going. Awful glad I avoided it. Oh, he almost did.
Almost.
He almost did. What's that for? What would they be voting for?
General
oh,
election.
they should-
last year.
General election pass.
I thought Nicola Sturgeon. Have you seen Jane Godley doing those voiceovers of Nicola
Yes.
Sturgeon?
Yes.
Oh, they are so good. Well, I'm glad you avoided that. Did you basically turn it down? Do you think he just, when he says he almost did it, do you think he read actually
Maybe
the small
saw the
print?
times and
And
was
he
like,
said, "Oh,
Yeah.
I'm actually
not for
really
me.
We're
busy."
moving on.
Yeah.
We're moving
Yeah,
on.
so he
Not for me.
obviously applied and then went, no thanks. I completely forgot to mention I was filming for Scottish Opera a few weeks ago for a show which is free to watch online. Oh, a little bit of a plug.
Oh.
I did ask around for anyone that knew you, but just got strange looks and looks of horror. Make of that what you will. Well, well, you were very brave saying my name. Most of the people I work with are dead who were there, and
We're still
the
here.
other people I do.
We're locked in this room. I
You're
expect if anyone can contact the hotel and ask them to come up to this room.
Get you out. Oh, I loved it there. I did have the best times there. I've got lots of. Well, as you know, I said a few stories about me snogging a lot during the show. Are you yawning, Jem?
Sorry.
Did you actually yawn out loud while I'm doing this hilarious? You just yawned.
But I thought
She
I might have
literally went cries on
She
the
did.
set.
She did, viewers.
It's
But I
been a
managed,
very-
during the yawn, I managed to get another piece in. Trying to save you there, Gemma. Trying to save you there.
Thank you,
Moving on.
Thank
It's
you,
like
landlady.
open. She almost
It's
stopped.
been a very busy day, Jim.
Today's
has.
been one of the most stressful.
And what do you think was stressful about today? For you, what was the most stressful? It's our day off, we should say. But what do you, because it's Friday here, it's very religious here today. So what did you find, landlady of Brighton Hove, actually was the most stressful part of the day? Apart from this, because it's really relaxing.
Trying to get an outside table for breakfast. That's
Yeah.
if you can
Yeah.
if you can get outside for breakfast,
Yeah.
it starts the day off well.
It's true.
And
If
it's
you
like-
can't, it's just going to be a terrible
Well,
day.
also Sam wasn't there, but she was like, although Sam was sitting with us eating breakfast, to be honest with you, she was staring at people outside, and she wasn't
Yeah.
having a bit. When she went, oh, someone's leaving, and they weren't. I
No.
felt the disappointment in just the fact she was still with us inside.
I
Jane
thought
wasn't
we were
enough.
going to have to bring up an entire queuing sequence to go and strike the tables and chairs just
Yeah.
to move the people and then reset them.
Yeah. What I thought interesting about my breakfast was that I went downstairs going, don't have carbs this morning because you're only walking 12 steps a day. Because
Well, that's come up.
so what I did was I had 2 croissants, actually 3. I didn't have any. I had a bit of
Three croissants?
3 little croissants with the marmalade wedged up with butter, and then I went back for 2 to 3 small little rolls. Those nice ones, a bit like Marston's. They're very soft,
Yeah.
and with peanut butter.
Very nice.
and 2 coffees.
Oh.
So my healthy breakfast sort of went.
But what didn't you have, Jude, that the rest of us had?
I didn't have cocking avocado, Jen.
It was
Because
there.
you went and bought them like the evil fruit
I
that
did.
they are. Except I did have to confess to you, didn't I, that I did have one inadvertently down at Southend Seafront and accidentally liked it. But I now...
Inadvertently. What did you think about having a green egg or?
No, well, no. Well, what happened was I didn't fancy anything else, but I did fancy sourdough and I did fancy poached eggs.
Oh.
And I did actually ask for no avocado, and I explained to the lovely girl that it was unacceptable as a product. Also, because it's inciting gang wars and cartels in Mexico, which none of you are actually, because I've seen the documentaries. But she put it on and I couldn't scrape it off because it's smashed, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's
It's very
spread.
hard
It's
to
the
move,
way to
yeah.
go.
I thought, oh, I'm just going to have to, eat it. And actually, annoyingly, I liked it. But now, because I have gone on such a tirade of abuse of the avocado and everybody else, I will never be able to eat it.
No, fair enough.
So even though I might actually like it, I'm going to deny
So
myself.
you're going to deny yourself avocado for the rest of your life?
Yeah, I'm principled.
Out of principle.
But you got to, if you just...
Are you comfortable?
I'm very comfortable.
Are you?
Yeah, I'm worried I'm going to go to sleep.
I'm not saying I'm not enjoying
well,
myself.
she's nearly gone.
It's just, it's just, it's the time of day that it is.
I don't think you're...
We're 4 hours ahead of the United
Everything.
Kingdom,
Mm-hmm.
and it's almost past our bedtime.
Well,
I don't know what we're going to do on show day.
Well, because we've all developed really early bedtime since being out here.
we all got
Which is
weird.
not like
We
us.
all got weird jet lag.
Yeah.
Well, that was because we weren't. That's because we
Isolation
weren't
lag.
moving, though, wasn't
That's
it?
true. I think because we were locked in a room,
I can't do
being
any of this.
force-fed 3 meals a day.
Which we didn't have to take, but we seem to all.
But once
Yes.
it would be a waste,
It's true.
and now it's my waste.
I wish. Yeah. Well, thank God for that. What I'm laughing at is I wish that we could film, because the whole premise is we don't see bodies, but I want to film you getting up at the end of it.
It can't. We're not in CinemaScope. Not yet.
I'm going to have to get those winches in. You know, like swimming pools when you get put in.
There were some wenches down by the pool today. I'm telling you.
What else has Scotland said? Great that you're working away in between filming. Quite right. Actually, I should be doing this in Scottish because you won't understand.
Yeah,
Oh.
you should.
We could do subtitles.
Subtitle, exactly. It's going to be it's a very big. Great that you're working away. No, that's a terrible. In between filming, it sounds like you don't have much else to do. Well, that is #rude.
It is.
Although probably
it's
correct.
It's not a point.
It's verging on truth, but
It's a 34-minute show ultimately, and we're very busy, Scott. You should try doing some time lapse of the progress during the day. Just film like normal. You don't have to talk and then speed it up in the edit. It would look. Basically, what I'm reading into that is that he just wants to see the jigsaw.
he's got better things to do.
He's got better things to do, and to be honest with you, the jigsaw is the thing for him. He's very unsubtly Scot of Scotland.
I think it sounds like he just went for the outtakes program,
Well,
the package.
but if I'm going to read that again, it's back. You should try doing some time lapse of the progress during the day. Just film it like normal. You don't have to talk, and then speed it up in the edit. When you
That's
say
harsh,
edit as
you.
well, I think
Edit.
he's misunderstanding
That's-
how I do this.
It's a harsh description of what actually goes on.
I mean, exactly. Yeah. No, nothing's taken out of this. I don't know whether you're aware
Just,
of that. It's just
Just another one popped in.
I'm literally just going. Can't do it.
I got to feel that's because I think you've got a touch of the avocados over here.
I think yeah, maybe it's the colour. Oh, but P.S. It wasn't raining in Glasgow today, but it was cold, obviously. I bet it's raining today.
It's probably asleep then.
Yeah. Yes,
You
the
just
time
didn't
he didn't
notice.
see it. Yeah. Are there any other? Now, did I have? Where's my notebook? I took notes, which is making me laugh. Are there any other notes? Slogue's email, done it. Missing him. Commodore, landlady. No. Scott. Oh, I've written swollen. I was going to write about how swollen do you feel? Not doing this. I mean, that's a given. That's everyone. In fact, it's probably like that. The excitement of being actually in a JigJaw episode is. I wrote swollen, meaning that the note was to myself how swollen I feel out here generally, because I mean it's so much. But actually, are you swollen? Should you?
Well,
be?
you say swollen. I can't. It's a picture between 3 meals a day and Gemma forcing me to escort her to the supermarket
Oh, yeah,
next
well-
door, which actually got our steps up by another 36,
I've done a bit.
to purchase a bag of M&Ms and some...
Talk about your M&Ms last night.
oh,
And your O'Malley.
well, my
O'Malley.
O'Malley. I was let down. O'Malley.
You've got to keep doing jigsaw because that's the point. That's the skill of this. And
Skill.
when I say
Skill.
skill,
I've done 6 pieces. You haven't done any yet.
I've just put one in.
This is slave labour.
What I
And
like
we're
is-
locked in. We can't even get out.
The joy of discussing how swollen you were made me put a bit in.
Well,
So tell us about your tea.
It started off by thinking the last thing I need is a meal. And so before I got into bed, the last thing I had was a meal.
And how many courses?
I managed to get in. I didn't have the salad. The thing is, you can't have everything. You can't have everything. So
Jim, you've got to keep your
I-
hands in.
Sorry.
Because
Gotta
otherwise,
keep your hands in.
this is the bit that people
No, I heard that.
love.
Of course.
Yeah, right, so go.
as I didn't have the salad, I thought also to help them get the food up quicker, I'll just have that small pizza.
She
Which is this-
sacrificed the salad.
I sacrificed the salad for the
Yeah.
pizza. If they've made the dough, let's use it. It's going to go to waste.
Right.
And the O'Malley, the Egyptian dessert, which is just
Oh, is it Egyptian?
oh yeah,
Yeah.
Oh, so Badu will like that.
He's very
he
proud
loves
of
it. Very proud of the fact that it's
In fact,
Egyptian.
Badu's one of my new subscribers. I don't know whether he's watched it, but he subscribed. But again, against his
He
will.
did say to me he was having trouble sleeping.
So you had your bit. You didn't have the
So
salad.
the
you had
man
pizza.
arrived. There was a knock on the door. I put my mask on. I opened the door. It was the wrong man.
Oh,
So
who was that then?
Well,
Someone you ordered.
it was the food I ordered.
Oh, I see.
And he said, "Please, can you sign?" I signed. I was very happy. I didn't check the goods. I sat down. I was watching Newsnight from the night before because someone had FedExed the program over to me. And I was halfway through the pizza and thinking, how am I going to get off the sofa and get into the bed? And when I realised there was no O'Malley. I couldn't reach the phone. I was so ill from eating the pizza. I've now finished the whole pizza, still wondering about the O'Malley, thinking, actually, you don't need it, you've had enough. So as I swept past the dressing table, I picked up the M&Ms, naturally, put them by the side of the bed. And whilst watching the play for today, which again, someone had FedExed over to me,
That sounds fun.
I managed to, well, I'd opened the bag and I'm worried about the humidity.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
Of course, yeah.
In an
And so the
air-conditioned room,
family-sized
it's big.
weekend treat bag of M&Ms went in approximately 28 minutes. But on the upside, we didn't have the O'Malley. And thinking about it now, I probably would have had the O'Malley,
Yeah.
slid off the sofa,
Yeah.
crawled to the bed, and managed to grab the M&Ms at the same time. And I'd still be in that room, and you'd be knocking on the door saying, "Come out, come out."
Well, we did have last week. We did worry about you doing Jem and I because Jem was meant to meet you.
Yes.
I was
Yes.
still in isolation. So Jem, you explain what happened.
Part 1, yes.
Yeah.
So I'd arranged to go and meet the landlady for breakfast
Yeah.
at 9:30, which
Yeah.
we'd done every other morning.
Yeah.
Always met outside 9:30. Went down this particular morning 9:30. The landlady isn't there. So I ordered some breakfast and I waited a little bit.
Yeah.
And then at 20 to 10, the landlady's still not there. And this went on, and I'm asking people who were down having breakfast. Nobody's seen him. Nobody's seen him. Get to 10 o'clock. Finish my breakfast. Still no landlady.
And this was an arrangement as well.
This was an arrangement, and
Yeah.
it was a reoccurring arrangement. We've
Yeah.
done it every single morning.
Yeah, yeah.
A pattern had emerged.
Yes. So yeah, finished my breakfast.
Yeah.
Asked around, went round by the pool. He wasn't on
I love
there.
that. Can I just interject? I love that your worry didn't stop you eating a full breakfast.
Well,
Well, you see, can I just point out here, as you hold that, another piece has just slipped in.
Oh.
Continue, ladies.
Again, we will be reserving judgment until I've done the
Playback.
Until I've done playback. Carry on.
well, my worry grew as the time went on. So when I was eating my breakfast,
And another piece. Sorry to interrupt.
Oh my God!
But-
You're literally on purple fire.
doing?
Yeah, we're going. Continue, Gemma,
You're
please.
swollen now. Carry on.
Yeah, so my worry grew as breakfast went on. So when I first started eating, I was like, oh, he'll be down in a minute.
Yeah.
But
But
so looked around by the pool, looked out to the breakfast room, even asked the lady on reception at breakfast, has his room been down to eat
Oh
yet?
right,
No,
you even
she
checked his
hadn't
number.
yet.
Nice.
So went back upstairs. Oh, I obviously texting him at the same time. This is before we had local phones, so I couldn't ring him. But I was texting him. He wasn't reading it. Came back up to my room, rang you. She hadn't spoken to him.
No.
So we started to get a bit worried, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
Rang
but
his room, no answer.
Well,
you
then,
take over.
well, then I rang. So I messaged
Sam.
him, didn't I? And then I rang Sam and said, look, we've lost the landlady of Brighton and Hove. Actually, and went through the details. And she said, well, I've been messaging this morning about the election. So at 8:30, he was alive. So we've got a timeline in place, a bit like I'm a murderer, make you a murderer.
Yeah. It could be a next Netflix series.
But we didn't go into, he's caught up. We just assumed he was lying naked on a marble floor, because marble
Slip in the
floors
shower,
every morning
yeah.
worry me that I'm going to be... And that is my big fear, that actually you're going to find me one day in a hotel room on a marble floor completely naked, and you won't be able to unsee what you found.
We wouldn't be cock-a-hoop.
Well, I might be in that position. But I worry that marble floors are going to be my final moment, and that
marble floors and talcum powder, it's tricky. And we've started to use the talcum powder, and for those who are in international events in high temperatures, some of you gentlemen will know where we're going with the talcum powder.
Well, it's a given, isn't it? It's on the rider. But actually, so where were you then?
Well,
we confirmed.
It's uncomfortable, isn't it? It is uncomfortable. Do you need to go
it's not
side saddle that way?
You've been closer to me at different times, but it's not that uncomfortable. We confirmed our continuing daily arrangement. Cracking, excellent. See you at 9:30. Speak to the egg man. 2 poached eggs, slice of bread, cutting back. Well, we'll have the fruit. And I left the room with 3 minutes to do the lift, the corridor.
Yeah, fine
Bingo.
timing, fine tuning.
As the lift door opened, boom. Timeline destruction.
Yeah.
Or, as we call it in the business, someone from props.
Yeah. Are you talking about Kieran?
I did. It's very difficult. I didn't want to name names, Kieran.
Was it a man in a Panama hat?
Man looking for a Panama hat.
Yeah.
High-vis Panama.
High-vis Panama hat. And we struck up a listening. And I gave him a good listening.
Yes.
And at that, the head of the international props department was laughing along the corridor because she could hear Kieran's voice. And she was wondering, later she told me, who had been held captive. She said good morning to me. I said, oh, good morning, Pam. How are you, darling? Going down for breakfast? She said, no, I'm going down for my mid-morning snack. This is how long we'd been standing. The lift came. She didn't rescue me. She just got in the lift and disappeared. I continued to give Kieran a good listening.
Jig
snoring, did you say?
Ow, listeners, viewers. Ow.
Well, it's only me and you three. I thought,
news just in. That's my lawyer. Or Kieran's. And so I only just escaped by saying, oh my God, what's that out of the window? Jumped into a lift. Luckily, the door was open. I went down for breakfast and all was good. You didn't have to come up and search my room.
Well, meanwhile, Jim and I were calling Interpol.
we were ringing, nearly we're working out how to get to your floor to see if you were lying prostrate. Was it prostrate? No, prostate. Which one is it?
Can I just...
Prostate.
During that,
Prostrate.
Viewer, you did see that. A new piece has just gone in.
God, you are good in purple.
Now, what were the rates today per piece?
You get 0. Well, as I say, Scott Scotland is going to review this, because if he's being so bold as to just say, speed it up, shut up, do the jigsaw.
We couldn't do it any faster. We'll be finished in about 10 minutes.
Well, see, but I was so pleased. I just think it's so funny that I was actually worried that I'd run out of jigsaw to do by the time. What was I thinking? But that's why. So your experience with being Kieran is why we usually try and get Pedro and Farnham with us, because the two of them together in that area is fine, because they just crack on and oblivious. But it was a smaller team.
I almost missed my poached eggs.
Imagine that. What did you do? You didn't have salad last night, and did you have a light breakfast? You had a relatively okay breakfast this morning.
Yes, I've moved from the no, it's Friday. 2 poached eggs, 2 slices of heavily buttered bread.
Yeah.
And now the egg man just knows. He goes, morning, Mr. Stevenson. I go, good morning, Mr. Poacher.
Even if you didn't want an egg, he's got them ready.
They're rolling. And as it's Friday, there's a couple of slices of smoked salmon on there.
Oh.
Couple of hash browns.
Oh my God!
It's Friday.
Southend on Sea.
Yeah.
And a bit of avocado.
Avocado smashed galore. A little bit of fruit.
Right.
Yogurt and granola, because that's healthy.
That's the good bit.
That's the
yeah.
good bit.
How many did you have? You had a starter. How many?
Start, it's breakfast.
Yeah, but that's what I'm saying. But you seem to have quite a few levels.
Yes.
Did you do the? You're not jigsawing. Just I know that you've done more bits than me, but Gemma,
if
in between
ever-
yawning, Gemma's doing the odd. You're doing a little bit of this, Gem, to sort of just.
Yes,
I've done about 8
but
pieces.
this, as a viewer, I found
You like that?
fantastic.
Oh, well, let me just check because
And
I don't
just-
want the memory to fill up on my phone, and then we've like we've been talking for ages, and then it goes no one's.
This.
Yeah, that you liked it, didn't you?
Yes. There's just something about a good fingering on the floor that
Takes you back.
It's a whole new world out here
You normally pay though.
through the nose, but that's a different game.
So swollen we've done. He's actually barrel. You won't be able to get back now. Oh, is that? Oh, you actually adopted. Right.
The carpet is quite high, which helps you move.
It's a little bit, yeah. I love that we're going to have to wash our hands thoroughly after rummaging around on this,
Oh,
aren't we?
yes.
Yeah.
Have either of you lost the ability to be able to press your phone and it recognises it? Because I have sanitised my thumb and hand so much that it doesn't recognise my fingerprint.
Between that and wearing a mask, it's a wonder we can get into the phone at all. I'm going to actually do a whole new face
Oh,
recognition.
you've got face recognition?
Yes.
Oh, you're really
Yeah.
expensive
But
than you two because you've got much better
I'm going to do a
face.
new one for whilst we're out here, just wearing a mask. But does it go by colours? Because we have a different coloured mask on each day.
That's a good point.
Do you know what though? I saw something on the telly here that I think it might even be Singapore.
Not
that
on
they,
all those late channels.
I can't afford those ones. You go further down. No, I saw that somebody has invented a recognition thing which only recognises the top half of your face above for airports.
Really?
Yeah, I mean it won't come to the UK by the time Christ,
No.
there's no way.
No.
But by the time they've discovered it, but someone has invented just the top half of your face recognition, so you don't have to take your mask off at an airport.
Or
That's clever.
put in another piece. No, I don't think it
Have
is.
you?
No, I'm
Pass
taking
it
that
on.
one back out and moving on.
Did either of you wear flight socks during quarantine? Because I felt that I was moving so little that I was worried about being
Flight
bent on.
socks.
Well, I nearly put them on because I was moving so little that I thought I might put my flight socks on.
I
So that I don't get
managed some days, well, 3 times a day actually, because that's when there was a knock on the door to deliver food, to struggle into a bathrobe.
Could you do the belt up? Or did you
Not
have
by
it-
the end of the week.
Did you have it slightly? Oh, well, that
Well,
must have been a bit.
You didn't even have a belt to begin with, did you?
No. Well, there's no bathrobe to begin with.
Well, no.
And so after a few minutes, because you always check what you're going to take, what you're going to use, and I spoke to the lovely lady down reception. Bathrobe was delivered.
But
I put it on. No tie. No
Oh,
tie, no belt.
Oh.
And so there's a problem because when you came to the door with your food,
yeah,
then you're holding the door with one hand
yeah.
to take the carrier bag with the other hand, and of course you can't reach for any money for a tip. So you,
Or do you tip every time?
well, I almost did that week without the belt.
Are you saying you were slightly agape?
Can't go into it now.
Oh my God.
Actually,
Having said that, looking back on it, I now see that actually when I ordered food, it did arrive very quickly. So there were obviously no complaints in
No,
the
but
room.
you do get generally.
He gets
Yeah,
preferential treatment on room service.
you do. They
Does the
bring you
landlady.
ice and lemon and stuff.
This
He
is true.
gets double desserts.
Red velvet cake day.
Yeah. He gets double drinks.
What's
When we were in isolation and you had to have everything in plastic just in case, he was getting proper plates and bowls.
Are you?
Yes.
Do you get proper cutlery every time?
Not the cutlery.
No.
We didn't upgrade to having real cutlery.
All right.
But we
Cutlery.
did
Cutlery.
cutlery. But we had something in the wind. If not the lentil soup, it was advance warning that
Life will be plastic in this new world in the UAE. So I travelled with a knife, fork and spoon. But now I actually have enough plastic in the room.
Can I just interrupt? Neither of you are jigsawing.
Oh, I have to, I
You
have,
keep
I have
losing- you
to ask
keep-
you, I need Score
There's-
to come back on this. Score, we'll go back over this quickly, to notice how much I've actually inserted in this room.
You have inserted a lot in this room, and neither of my Gem have noticed as much as we should have probably.
Scott can go backwards.
He can.
And check the film.
But this is what I'm saying. You think it's easy doing this, don't you? Like now you've seen the pressure you're under.
Yeah.
Right.
And because of the scope of the colours, the nighttime light.
I know.
It's a challenge.
I mean, I need a head torch almost. Maybe we should get head torches for this.
No, we should.
So you got the belt though.
I got the belt. That's possibly when room service started to come in slow. But no, the belt came.
Yeah, I wonder. Oh, see, that's what I'm wondering, whether actually everybody said, "I'll take it. I'll take the food up," and just every day.
Yeah.
No. Yeah. Do you think they always wanted a bit of a peek, little peekaboo?
Well, it depended what was on the menu.
Do you know what I realised though yesterday? I put my freshly laundered pyjamas on, and I realised that when I got the tray from the guy last night, the button that would probably have hidden my everything wasn't done up.
Oh.
So I had the top button done up, a couple of bottoms, but my
You were
basic.
agape.
I was really agape, and I didn't realise until much later when I went past the mirror to go, because there's so many mirrors in the room, I can't
Yes.
bear it, which is really disconcerting, which I can spend my whole time trying to hold my stomach in my own room. But I suddenly laughed and went, oh my God, that poor bloke, because I was also trying to sign, you have to sign.
Yes. But has he not been back since?
Nobody's going, not even my washing machine collecting.
The word is out.
Do you think I've been
I think word is
barred?
out.
Well, everything else was out. What was I going to say? Do you feel that you were easy to institutionalise in lockdown, in the quarantine? Because I was.
Well, it took a little bit of time. I think by the time I'd emptied my suitcase. Because you usually land, you come in, you think, I'll do a bits of that, and then tomorrow morning I'll finish.
Yeah.
Then you go to a meeting, you come back in the evening, say, right, I'll finish unpacking.
Yeah.
And then by the end of day 2, beginning of day 3, you think, if you haven't changed rooms for the second time.
Well, you are, and also you are famous for, by the time somebody else is getting their room key, you are back down to reception, changing room.
I arrived, and
With quite a
again,
look.
for the 3rd consecutive year here, enjoying the room I was allocated.
I don't know, well, what, do you think that's a Middle Eastern thing, or just...
It may well be.
Because we always used to laugh, didn't we, wherever we went, you would also always be down, and with quite a face, because you always are generally pretty hilarious and smiley. But the changing of you adopt quite a reception face.
Oh, it's difficult. If you just have to know your way around a bed, because you never know what's going to happen in the middle of the night.
But what makes you change your room? So like when you go in a room, you haven't got your
It's
pace.
an urge.
Is it?
It's an urge.
It
To have an
overwhelms
urge in a bedroom, you just got to know.
Right, so you go in and you immediately get an urge or a
Yes.
feeling. An urge and a
Well,
feeling.
if you get an urge, you may get a feeling.
So you go in
One
and
may
you
follow the
immediately...
other. You immediately, and
Oh.
sometimes you can go, oh well, and if you've had to say, oh well, it's
Oh,
get out.
you compromised.
You've got. It's
Oh,
just like
I
you look,
see.
you get a feel. I had a couple of oh wells in Baku, but then there was a really big oh well because I had to convince
Yeah.
the receptionist who was giving me a room temporarily, which was glass on 2 sides, an executive suite, going, well, if this is the only room you have, and I can have it immediately, okay, as it's the 3rd room you've shown me, I'll take it. And managed to stay in that room for another 9 months.
You did. And somebody else we know was meant to have that room, weren't they?
This is
And
true.
You
This is
ignored
true.
that.
And on the bus on the way in one morning, I was dobbed in by Graham.
Yeah. Yeah, the girl.
Yeah, the Graham Gill dobbed me in.
Yeah, he did, didn't he?
Said, oh, he should. Someone's saying I should be a 903. He said, oh, the landlady of Brighton and Hove actually is in that room.
Yeah, and then what you did was just looked out the window.
I looked out the window. An occupation, as Donald Trump will know, occupation is everything.
Everything. Oh, that's nice and poignant.
But what do you say when you go to reception? You just say, I don't like it, or...
No, you got to look to see who's actually about to serve you and think, how bad has their day been? It's going to get a lot worse, obviously, but how bad has their day been? And kind of going, just schmooze them a little bit and kind of, it's just...
Are you saying you play the receptionists? Like you fluff them?
Yes,
But
because
what is it
also
about-
if you're in for a season...
I understand, but like most of the rooms, like these rooms, they're pretty generic, aren't they?
Yes.
They are.
I'll give you a secret. I'll give you a tip here, ladies.
Go on then.
There's only us here.
Yeah, there's only us here. No, to be fair, nobody else is watching.
No.
Especially because we're nearly an hour in. So
Oh,
no,
really?
if we have people that watch the whole hour, then
Well, this
We
is
should
a good time to release the secret.
It's true.
The thing to do is close the door, look on the back of the door for the emergency exit button, and it
Wow.
shows you the shapes of the rooms and the positions. So you can tell instantly from emergency evacuation plan the better sized rooms, the position of the room, the
wow.
corner room that has double glazing.
So you don't even go fully into the room. You literally
No, if
turn the door.
the entrance to the room is, take a look, and you'll notice just left and right on the floor that we're on, there are extra bedroom suites.
Are there?
Yes.
She's complaining. She's not in one. I can feel it coming back.
Wow, that is. I didn't
Now,
realise
as we're
that.
the only 3 people here, I'll give you that, girls. So long as on the next gig out at the front of the queue and not behind you.
Well, that is.
That's the kind of information that only a landlady has, isn't it?
Well, that's true because of your title.
Well,
It's true, Jem. And if anybody didn't understand what Jem was saying, she said that's because of your title and because of your job and stuff. So just in case.
just in Welsh.
Just because some people, I think people will struggle with you, Jem. Just to be honest with you.
I'm used to it.
So should we say goodbye for this episode, bearing in mind that I think this is going to be a hit, and I think I've got about 6. Even though I sort of mentioned the likes last time, I have to say the viewership was more than the likes. But I think this one, and I'm not going to. What I mustn't do is take this to heart. You can carry on, Jigsaw, while I'm doing this. But what I'm saying is, I think this episode, despite it being the lengthiest, I think we're gonna get great reviews.
I've got a feeling.
I've got a feeling too.
None on my left leg, but I have got a feeling. My left leg is crushed. Don't touch me.
I don't
Get.
I have to wet wipe.
I need a wet wipe, and for my arm as well.
Well, should we say goodbye for this episode? And then I have to say, I think Svenny probably did the most out of all of us.
goodbye.
I mean, the landlady of Brighton Hat. We'll
Goodbye.
see you in the next episode. Thank you for listening and happy to be